If you clicked on this video, there's a chance you want to learn multiple skills. As someone who's learned multiple skills, this is a guide I wish I had when I first started. I've learned juggling, I've gotten really flexible and learned all the flexibility skills. I've learned how to manipulate my voice, like the way voice manipulation is just what voice actors do, so they can sound like this, or they can sound like this, or they can sound like puny human. And all the intricacies of the voice I've learned. I've learned ventriloquism and a bunch of other one-off skills that I've learned. I was learning all these skills when I had a full-time job and I was going to school. So I'm gonna make sure to speak from that perspective of someone who doesn't have a lot of time. So it doesn't matter what your position is, you can afford an hour or some time, and I'm gonna give you all the strategies. But first, I want to talk about the most important thing, which is mindset and lifestyle. And I'll touch on lifestyle later, but first mindset. And I know you're tired of hearing another mindset video, bro, but like I said in the last video, what I was talking about limiting beliefs, it is very important. And like I said at the end of that video, you'll only go as far as the beliefs you have. So if you think you can't do this, or if you think you can't do it, you're right either way. So you gotta really watch those thoughts that you have. Especially when you learn a new skill, you're gonna go through the foundation phase, which is the hardest phase of any skill, because you don't know anything, you don't know what you don't know. You're learning the foundational, like all the building blocks that go into that skill, and it's gonna be a rough patch. That's the rough patch when you wanna give up. Even me, even though I know that and I've learned skills, and every time I learn a new skill, I'm in that phase, it still sucks. I still have those doubts, and you got to remind yourself that this is normal. This is just the foundational phase, and I'm gonna get out of it, and then I'm gonna get good, or get decent, and then get good. So understand that and know that, don't let that stop you. Don't say, oh, this is not for me. I talked about in that last video, you don't have an affinity for something doesn't mean you can't do it. People tell you I'm not the most hand-eye coordinated guy, but I've learned juggling and gotten very good with all the different skills. Just because you don't have affinity, it's not something you have or don't have, it's how much you have, So make sure you keep that mindset positive, or if not positive, keep it neutral and don't let it slow you down. And number 2 is lifestyle. I'm going to be honest with you because I don't want to sell you a dream, but there's no way you're going to do this if, and I'm speaking like from the perspective, if you're busy, like if you're working a full-time job, you go to school, you have kids, and you don't have like the most time in the world. You're going to have to give up some things in order to pursue multiple interests. That's just, you give and take, you have to sacrifice some things for other things. You can't have everything, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So understand that. So for me, I just stopped watching as much TV, and I just stopped using social media. I haven't used social media in years, but I just stopped using social media in general when I was going through this phase. You don't have to stop completely. Just limit your use or push it towards the end of the day before your skills work, and you should be good. But you have to give up some things, especially if you don't got, like I only had like 3 hours when I wasn't working, but like 1 to 2 hours most days where I could just practice skill work. Those are times I could have watched TV or did anything, but I decided to put the skills. You can build skills around your life, but you can't, like very tight on time, you can't try to have it all. You can't say, I don't want to give anything up, but I also want to get good at skills. It doesn't work like that. And if you have like more time freedom, yeah, then you can fit, you have a lot more time to fit in skills. It still applies. I'd rather you do it before any relaxing work, because it's going to be hard for you to watch Netflix for an hour and then go straight into skills work. You should save all like relaxing things after your skills work just to make it easier. But that's definitely an important part. So figure out your lifestyle. Number 2, what I want to talk about is prioritization and time management. This is like the important stuff. First, I want you to write out, and I'm going to give you some actionable steps. Number 1 thing, and I still do this when I'm super excited about learning a bunch of skills, is write out all the skills you want to learn. Like you want to learn climbing, you want to learn ventriloquism, you want to learn voices. Oh, you've seen this guy get tied up one time, you want to learn how to escape, like escape artist. Oh, you want to learn this or that. Whatever you want to learn, write all of it down. It doesn't matter. It could be 30, 40, 100. It doesn't matter. After you write all that down, you just pick 1 to 2 skills. And it's going to suck, but I'm going to make it easier for you to pick skills by giving you some frameworks. Pick 1 to 2 things, especially if you're limited on time. Just say this is 1 to 2 things that if you got in 1 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months, you'd be like, oh, I got this skill. I'm happy. I can learn the rest of this, but now that I got this skill, I feel a lot better. It's like a skill you've been wanting a long time. And number 2, make sure that the skill is something you can do consistently. Like if you wanted to learn how to like escapology or how to escape out of stuff, you would 1, need a partner, because if you get stuck, you need someone to cut you out or whatever. And 2, it requires a lot of equipment. You have to buy the equipment, you have to set up, you have to do a lot of stuff. So that might not be a skill that you can do every day if you don't have the time or someone to help you with that. So that has to get a lower priority than the other skills that you have. Understanding that is going to help a lot with that. So make sure that it's something you can do every day. Make sure it's something, you can afford. Like if you have to buy gear and you don't want to buy gear or whatever, just don't do that, And number 3, just make sure it's something that if you got at the end of the 3 month, you're doing it for you. Don't do something that you're like, oh, this is a cool skill, but I don't really like it. And I'm gonna make a whole video about like how I pick skills now, because I got a whole framework, but it would be too long to go over all of it. I'm gonna make a video on that to make it easier for you all. But after you pick your skill, now it's time management. So you're gonna have to block out time for your skills. Oh, and another thing I wanna say is there is no like one size fit all learning skills. I know some people preach that you should only pick one skill and just put all your time, energy into it. And if that works for you, do it. But it's kind of like lifting, where there's so many different approaches to getting jacked or getting muscles that there is no one size fits all. You know, there's people who do only body weight. There's people who do weights. There's people who do, you know, calisthenics with weights, weighted calisthenics, body weight, dudes who lift, dudes who do like rings. There's so many ways to get jacked. And it's the same with like skill acquisition. There's so many different like avenues you could take. So it doesn't really matter, but it just depends on you. So if you're someone who can really just focus on one skill and put all your time and energy, you don't like having like 1 to 2 to 3 skills just that you manage every day, then you shouldn't take that route. But like if you're more like me, for me, I just couldn't really get super excited about, even though I like the skill, don't get me wrong, I like doing it for a certain time, but also doing another skill. Like that's the way my brain works. I like just managing those two skills and just doing them both every day. It's just something I've been doing for a while, and it works for me. So you got to figure out what works for you. But those are the 2 most common ones I would say. And another thing is, of course, you know, is consistency over intensity, and why compound interest is like the 8th wonder of the world. You will not understand like 10 minutes. Like when I was learning juggling, I was doing other skills, but juggling wasn't really a skill at the time. It's just something I wanted to learn. And at first it was just like, I'm just gonna give 10 minutes. And 10 minutes every single day. And before I knew it, I was like, in like a month, that's 300 minutes. But I promise you, I was so decent. I got a bunch of like 3-ball skills. And then eventually, after I got good at it, I was like, you know what, I want to actually dedicate time, and I actually made it a skill priority. So I was giving it like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I got 4-ball, and then I learned a bunch of tricks, and it was fun. Don't focus on intensity. Don't do an hour, stop for a day, 30 minutes, stop for a day, stop for a day. I'd rather you just do 10 minutes every day. You know, if you miss one day, try not to miss 2 days, but life happens. If you miss one day, that's okay. Just don't let 2 days. Do 5 minutes, do 10 minutes. You just want to get in the habit and just tell your brain that this is important. I'm doing it every day. So the neurons can fire and you can get the skill down, right? Because your brain's always trying to forget stuff. So if you do it consistently, you tell your brain, hey, this is important. Help me get good at this. Your brain will adjust to whatever skill you learn. So time block your day. So many people who say I don't have time. But then if I tell them, okay, so what time are you doing this? What time are you doing that? And if we like pull up a calendar, I'm like, oh, you can do it right here. They're like, you're right. So of course, you know, you don't have to start calendaring your whole day if that's not what you're into, but you want to have specific blocks of time. So for me, after work, I'm too tired to do it. So before I go to work, like 1:30 before I go to work, before I start getting ready, that's my time. And that time is when I do my skills work. And then usually on like days I'm off, I have more freedom because I'm not working, or if I have class or school, whatever, I just build around that. Whenever you have like the most energy is when you want to do your skills work. It's going to be hard like after you hit the gym, unless the skill is like easy, depends on the skill, but you always want to do when you have more energy and prioritize it. That's how you make it easier. And then I'm going to also get into like my next video, I'm going to talk about like, I'm going to give like you a full system of how skills works, like from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, level 4. So stay tuned for that. That's really all I got to say. Just prioritize your time, have the mindset, and all this stuff, and I promise you, you'll get so far ahead. This is not hard. It's not difficult. It's simple. But the thing about simplicity is we want to complicate it. But I promise you, I've done so many things that complicate it, and I might even make a video on all the stupid mistakes I made. But I promise you, don't overcomplicate this shit. Simplify it. Pick up 1 to 2 skills. Give it 30 minutes to an hour, and just stick with it for a long period of time. And check out my next video where I'm going to talk about like all the ebbs and flows of like a skill to get good at it. But that's all I got to say for today. Subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, you out.